I knew Václav Havel. I covered the Velvet Revolution. I
Right.
was in the Magic Lantern Theater with him every night. And he talked about this, which is really what you're saying, is he called it living in truth. But living in truth, if you hold fast to that truth, is terrifying to these despotic centers of power because it exposes who they really are.
Yeah.
And if they can't intimidate or cow you to be silent, then they'll physically silence you.
Yep.
I want to talk just when we close here. You mentioned it, and I agree with you. The empire always wins. As a former divinity student who, watched Jesus Christ get abandoned by all his friends, turned on by the mob, and killed as an insurrectionist by the state, that was the message. And yet we must fight anyway. Um, if not just to slow the process, but also to keep alive another way of living, another orientation to the world. Vasily Grossman writes about this quite eloquently, as kindness in these despotic times being acts of subversion, and he writes at the end of this beautiful passage that if they can't crush even a small kernel of kindness, which is what these systems attempt to do, then evil will never be conquered. I mean, this gets into maybe a more theological or existential discussion, but it's one I believe in. It's one I think you believe as well, that it's important for us to keep these powers alive regardless of what happens to us as distinct individuals.
Yeah, well, it's that's another interesting conversation, obviously, because I'm an atheist, you're not, and yet we love each other
Yeah.
and we love our brothers and sisters. And for whatever the reasons may be, maybe it has something to do with our parents, because your father was a preacher, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and my mother was an atheist, but she was a communist and a socialist and all of those. So she and my father, who died fighting the Nazis, they inculcated into me a sense of responsibility and love for my fellow human beings. Your father did the same with you, but and it's a different, it's a different route and it's a different journey, but the result is the same thing. You and I, Chris, both work tirelessly for love and truth, and and there ain't nothing that's going to change that. And if we go down fighting, we go down fighting, but we have love in our hearts,
Yeah.
and so do millions and millions of us. And if I get emotional, it's because I feel for those millions. I mean, I can see, and people sometimes when I meet them, they get hold of my hand, and there was one guy at a gig 20 years ago, or I don't know when it was, some gig, when I had veterans coming to the show every night. Every night I would have 10 veterans, and I would always invite them to come with a helper, either a loved one or whatever, because often they can't, they've got so much PTSD, they can't go out on their own. It's too scary. And they would come to the show, and I would go and see them halfway through the show and just say hello and chat a bit. And they go, oh, oops, I've got to go and do Hey You now. It was during the wall shows.
Right.
Okay. And so I was leaving one time, and an older bloke, he must have been a Vietnam vet, because most of them are Afghanistan and and Iraq and whatever. Awful, awful injuries. Anyway, that's my this older bloke. As I was going, he put his hand out, so I shook his hand. He wouldn't let go. I went, I've got to go on stage now. We're just about to do Hey You. It's the second, and he held my, and he wouldn't let go, and so I relaxed a bit, and I let him hold my hand, and then he looked me in the eyes like that, piercing, and he said, "Your father would be proud of you."
Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm crying now
Yeah.
because I just thought, fucking hell, wow, what an amazing moment. And it was an amazing moment, and I'll never forget him, and I'll never forget that. But yeah, we can hand this from generation to generation. You can hand love and truth down to the next generation. And your primary responsibility in life is to do exactly that. and to not give in to the monsters, Trumps and Starmers of this world.
And
You
Roger,
have to.
yeah, and Roger, that's the resurrection. I mean, I always say that it's my voice, but it's my Father's words. It's your music, or your lyrics, but they're your Father's words, who was, I want to say, as I understand it, a Christian and a member of
Yes.
the Communist Party.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Yeah. He was. He was at the beginning of the war. He was country because of his Christianity, his devotion to. Is it the sixth commandment? Thou
Thou
shalt
shalt
not
not kill.
kill. Exactly. So he said no. And then he started to get organized and he drove an ambulance through the Blitz and all of that. And at a certain point, he joined the Communist Party. And then he realized that the need to fight the Nazis trumped his love for Jesus. And so he went back and volunteered. Oh, jolly good. This chap's got a degree. He's officer material. So he was basic training, officer training, commissioned, second lieutenant, dead. 3 weeks later, he lasted about 3 weeks in Anzio. So it's not a burden, but it's you can't, if you're that man's son, you can't, I'll never get over the bravery of those, both the bravery of being a conscientious objector and then the bravery to give up your life. It's pretty, strong stuff. No wonder I've written some songs.
He I think you were 5 months old when he died.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
But look at the gift that he gave you.
Yeah.
And that's the gift my father gave me.
Yeah.
And I can never betray him. And you can never betray your father, which is mean they can't do anything to us.
Yeah. This is true.
All right. Bless you, Roger.
Things could be worse.
They can always be worse. They're probably going to get worse.
Yeah. No, they will get worse, but we will hold on to that.
We will.
That truth and that love that we inherited.
Great. That was the great Roger Waters. I want to thank Sophia, Max, Thomas, Victor, and Diego, who produced the show. You can find me at chrishedges.substack.com.
Thanks, Chris.